Hello everyone, and this is my review for TNA Impact Wrestling on January 23rd, 2014. And this was the second week for the pseudo pay-per-view Genesis, and to be honest, this time around I felt they did a bit of a better job of putting on a show here. I felt the match quality was a lot better, the booking of the show was a lot better. I still didn't really care for the main event, and I'll get into that towards the end, but as an overall show, I felt it was a far better show this week than it was last week. Things I didn't really care about, the actual match with James Storm and Gunner. I didn't like that. I didn't like the putting the briefcase on the pole. I kind of wanted to just see a normal match between the two of them for the briefcase versus having this extra on a pole match for the briefcase. The only thing that I can really say I liked about it is that they at least came up with a different kind of finish for that, and basically explaining the rules beforehand, saying that in order to win you had to have full possession of the briefcase or be deemed as having full possession, so they could do that spot at the end of it where James Storm looked like he had it, but then drops the briefcase or something, and then they have this little extra fight in the ring for the briefcase itself. So that was a nice little touch to it, though I still didn't really care for the match all that much. The other match I didn't really care for, and it was mainly just because of the extra use in there, and that was the Austin Aries Christopher Sabin match, and that was mainly just because of the extra usage of how they've been using Velvet Sky in there and everything to interfere and using that storyline where Sabin forces her to interfere in matches and everything. And then this week they put her in a cage, so he gives her a gift bag and then just kind of switches up everything on him in the end, allowing Aries to get the X Division title back. I really don't want to just see the X Division title become that flip-flop title where just like one week it's on one guy, next week it's on another guy type deal, but it looks like that's where they're going with it for right now. Maybe they'll just keep it on Aries for a while, or better yet, what I would really like to see is if they want to do multiple title changes, I would like to see like a series of matches. It could be, they could change it up with Aries and Sabin, or they could do it with Aries and someone else, but have a series of matches is like where they're kind of showing it as both competitors of being like full, evenly competitive people, where it's like for the title one week someone beats Aries, and then the next, maybe not the next week, but like a couple weeks down the road, Aries beats them, and just in a series of maybe making it look like competitive matches where it doesn't seem like either one of them is getting the main control. That would be a nice way of doing it, but we'll see where they actually go with that storyline, or they'll continue the storyline between Aries, Sabin, and Velvet Sky. So we'll see where they go with that in general. Areas I did like, of course, the Bobby Roode Kurt Angle match. A great match. I love the way they went. With that match. It was just overall fun to watch, and the story build up for that particular match in general, I actually quite liked. So that was a very good match there, and that's what I was expecting from the two of them. Great match to watch. The promo at the beginning with like the Dixie Carter's lawyer, Magnus Dixie Carter, and Rockstar Spud, I really liked where they went. I really liked where they went with that. They were talking about the new investor that got somewhat introduced the week before, and saying how it was supposed to be a hostile takeover, kind of setting up the tone for the match at the end. So, basically making it seem like, okay, now Sting's going to have somebody in his corner to watch his back, but they're going to make it a no DQ, no count-out match. So, in the end, like I said, I didn't really care about how they booked the Sting Magnus match. I don't think they did a very good job of it again. Matter of fact, well, at least for the beginning of it, it was at least a match for probably about 5 minutes of it before they started doing what they did with the whole AJ Styles Magnus match, which was the entire thing with all the interference and everything like that. Again, like I said, I didn't really care for that particular match. just because they used basically the same booking as they used 2 weeks ago. It's not a good way to put Magnus over as a champion, and honestly, I think they're pretty much killing the push that he had. Even though he has the title, they're kind of killing that push by continually booking these matches as these no DQ, no count out matches, tons of interference and everything like that. It's not fun to watch over and over and over again. And honestly, it's not really that fun to watch to begin with. Other areas, they did some really good backstage promos. Like I said, the beginning one I felt was actually a good promo, setting up the whole new investor deal and setting up the match for the end of the night with Magnus and Sting. The Rockstar Spud promos backstage, setting up his match for Samoa Joe, even though basically squash match there, they were still entertaining and funny. Basically Dixie Carter putting him in the match, and just the sheer shock in his eyes and sheer terror as well that he put into it, I thought was a pretty good one. And then EC3's promo with him was just hilariously funny to try to fire him up, and I thought they did a really good job there. The other promo I ended up really liking, and we saw these guys with the beginning of the new investor storyline, the American Werewolves, and they basically started last week. I haven't really seen much of them because I don't watch a lot of extra internet or extra wrestling outside of TNA and WWE right now. Just because of time constraints for me personally. But from what I saw this last week and this week, these guys can cut a pretty good promo. And from what I'm assuming, they're bringing them in, so they have to be pretty good in the ring at this point in time, because we always have known TNA to have at least good in-ring action. So the promo they delivered this week, about talking about the hunt was on and the new investor was going to reveal himself next week, I felt they did a really good job there. The only thing that I'll need to see from them now is how they cut a live promo, not just a backstage one, and just to see their in-ring action. Though I'm assuming as a tag team, they're a very good tag team, so I'm not really too concerned about their in-ring action at this point in time. So we'll see where they're actually going with this. They're revealing the new investor next week, which honestly, even though they're going with this build really fast, that's really a good thing, because usually they build these like network or investor type deals for months and months and months, and then you don't get something out of it. Now, at least in this, it shows that they have somebody in mind that they're going to be going with for this storyline, and they're going to go, and obviously they're going to be there with the company. So it will be interesting to see who they're using for that. It could be Sting, it could be, who knows, it could be AJ Styles, and it's basically he signed the contract and everything like that. He's coming back to the company. But you have to assume, with the way that they finished the AJ Styles match with Magnus, or pretty much did that whole match with Magnus, and Sting's match with Magnus, you would have to assume that both of them are going to be coming back to the company, because that's just not a good way to exit the company, to not have at least attempt a decent match out of it. So we're going to see where they're going to go with this. This week was definitely a lot better, I felt, backstage promo-wise. I didn't really care for the first two matches, and of course the Rockstar Spud and Samoa Joe match was pretty much a squash match, but definitely the highlight of the show were some of the backstage promos that they had with EC3 and Rockstar Spud, Dixie Carter, Rockstar Spud, the opening one with Magnus, Dixie Carter, and the Lawyer, I felt was a decent one, and the American Werewolves promo was a great promo in my mind. And of course the Kurt Angle Bobby Roode match was just a great match to watch. And overall, I felt, even though it wasn't really a good show, it was at least a step in the right direction of where they need to be going at this point in time. So that's my review this week for TNA Impact, and I thank you guys for watching.